So is this visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we have already studied, notation, big omega notation, and theta notation. So now what is small o notation? So I have told that a small o notation provides the loose upper bound. It provides loose upper bound. Now what is meaning of this? See here. In general, we are calculating total number of steps of a function and getting something like Tn equal to n square plus 2n minus 7. Then we say that complexity is order of square, because I have told you we always take highest order of the n. So whenever there is a polynomial equation, we always take highest order of n. So complexity is order of n square. It means that 2n square is equal to order of n square. But 2n square is not equal to small of n square. 2n square is not equal to small o of n square. We can say that 2n is equal to small o of n square log n, or 2n is equal to n to power cube. So loose upper bound means that any value which is greater than big O. Any value which is greater than equivalent big O. Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Whenever there is a polynomial equation, we take the highest order. But in follow notation, the value that big O gives, the value which is greater than that big O is small. If you see here, see this line here. See this line. 0 less than equal to Fn less than C into Gn. And in big O notation, it was less than equal to. If you open your big O notation definition, for big O notation, we write 0 less than equal to Fn less than equal to C into Gn. But for small o, we write 0 less than equal to Fn less than C into Gn. There is no equal to here. There is no equal to here. Is this clear? So this is small o notation. Similarly, with small omega notation, it provides us, loose lower bound. So again, for omega notation, we write 0 less than equal to C into Gn less than equal to Fn. And for small omega, we write 0 less than equal to C into Gn less than Fn. Again, equal to is not here. Again, equal to is not here. So it means that if we say phi n plus 2 is equal to omega of n, we have already solved it, then this omega will be any value which is less than n. It means phi n plus 2 is not equal to omega of n, but it can be equal to root n. It can be equal to root n or root n or 1 to power 3 n to n upon 1 to power 3. So it provides a loose lower bound. So small o notation provide loose upper bound. This notation provide loose lower bound. This PPT I will share in the Google Classroom. You can download it from there. So I hope small o and small omega notation is clear.
Yes, sir.
Always remember, a small o notation will give the value which is higher than big O notation, and a small omega notation will give the value which is lower than big omega notation. Here. Now there are some properties like transitivity. So if function is theta of Gn and Gn is equal to theta of Hn, it implies, so you can read these properties I will share with you. These are simple, nothing very complicated here. As you have studied discrete, so this will be easy for you. I will share it. If any problem, then we'll discuss. Okay. Now these are some formulas that we have to remember, especially this one. Especially this one. Okay. Like a to power, if you see this, a to power log b, log c base b is equal to c to power log a base b. So these type of formulas you have to remember. Again, I have to share the PPT. So this one and this one is very important. So you should always remember that for solving the recursive analysis problems. So there are two very classical questions. So I'm going to explain you the solution. Read the options by the time. So first question says that there are two functions fn and g that are asymptotically non-negative, and we have to use the concept of theta definition, and we have to prove max of fn comma gn is equal to theta of fn plus
Fn plus Gn.
gn. Okay. If you remember, I have already told you to prove that a particular notation is theta notation. To prove that a particular notation is theta notation, we have to prove. It's better. Let me write it here. So we have to prove that max of fn comma gn is equal to theta of fn plus gn. Okay. So if I have to prove that there is some function fn that is equal to theta of gn, if this I have to prove, there is some function fn that is equal to theta of gn, then what we have to do? I have to first fn is equal to big O of gn, and second fn is equal to omega of. Is this to prove that any function is theta of gn? We have to prove that fn is equal to big O of gn and fn is equal to omega of gn. So similarly, what we will prove? That max of fn comma gn is equal to big O of fn plus. Max of fn comma gn is equal to big O of fn plus gn. Okay. So let's see how can we prove it. So assume Hn is equal to max of fn comma gn, then see here, what is meaning of this? Suppose we are presenting max fn gn by Hn. So it's obvious that Hn will be fn if fn is greater than equal to gn, and it will be gn if fn is less than. What does it mean? It means that suppose fn is equal to 5 and gn is equal to 3. Fn is equal to 5 and gn is equal to 3. So Hn is equal to max of 5 comma 3. So Hn will be equal to what? 5. And 5 is what? So either Hn will be equal to Fn if Fn is greater than equal to Gn, or Hn will be equal to Gn if Fn is less than Gn. Okay. So now what does it mean? It means that Fn plus Gn is greater than equal to Fn, which is unequal to 0, and also Fn plus Gn is greater than equal to Gn, which is also greater than equal to 0. Getting my point? So there are two functions. Suppose there is 2 and 3. So 2 plus 3 will be obviously greater than 2 also, and 2 plus 3 will be obviously greater than 3 also. So Fn plus Gn is greater to Fn, and Fn plus Gn is also greater than equal to Gn. Okay. Now see here. So max of Fn plus Gn and here Fn plus Gn. So max of Fn plus Gn will be either Fn or Gn. So it is obvious that Fn plus Gn is greater than equal to Hn, or we can write max of Fn comma Gn. Okay, Fn comma Gn which is then equal to 0, and this can be written as rho less than max of so this. So for C is equal to 1, we can say that max of Fn comma Gn is equal to order of Fn plus. Okay. So this is your equation 1. Note it down. See once more first. The simple thing is that we have to prove that max of Fn Gn is order of Fn plus Gn, and Fn plus Gn is addition of two quantities. So obviously, and suppose Hn is equal to max of Fn Gn. So max of Fn Gn will be Fn or it will be Gn. It can be either Fn or it can be either Gn. So Fn plus Gn is since addition of two quantities, so is it greater than Fn also? It is greater than Gn also. Now max of Fn Gn is either Fn or Gn, and since this is greater than both, so we can say that it is greater than max of Fn and Gn. So reverse this, so we will get this inequality which is order of big O inequality. So this we can write here. So write down this. Note down quickly. From tomorrow, I will log the meeting after 10 minutes. No one will be allowed to enter. I am observing that 2 students have joined just now, and most of you have joined late despite there was a 10-minute break. So from tomorrow, no one will be allowed to join after 5 minutes of commencing of the classes, and no one will send me any silly message that there is network and all this stuff. Note down this and tell me. If there is any confusion, anything not understood, you can ask me right now. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Is this clear or any confusion? Is it clear how it is done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next part now we'll prove the second one. Now, second, what we have to prove? That is, this is omega of Fn plus g. Okay. So we have to find a constant C such that 0 less than equal to C into Fn plus Gn less than equal to max of Fn. So this we have to find. Okay. So now okay, so first understand these two equations very carefully. Why I have written this? See, max of Fn and Gn can be either Fn or Gn. Suppose we assume that max of Fn and Gn is Fn. Suppose we assume that max of Fn and Gn is Fn. So Fn is greater. So if Fn is greater, if suppose value of this, suppose value of this is equal to Fn, so obviously Fn is equal to Fn. Obviously, Fn is equal to Fn, so no problem. And again, value of this is equal to Fn, so obviously Gn is less than equal to Fn. So again, no problem in both the equations. Getting my point? So if here Fn is greater, so obviously here equal to sign is also there. So Fn is equal to Fn. And here if it is greater, then obviously Gn is less than Fn. Similarly, suppose if Gn is greater, then obviously Fn is less than Gn. And here if Gn is greater, then Gn is equal to Gn. So we'll add these two inequalities. So if you will add this, what you will get? Fn plus Gn. Two into max of Fn Gn. Okay. Now this can be written as okay. So for C is equal to 1 by 2. Is equal to omega of, sorry. Previously what we have proved, max Fn Gn is equal to order of n. Okay, now here what we have proved. Okay. So this is your equation 2. So from 1 and 2, it is proved that max of is equal to theta of Fn plus Gn. So note down this. Done?
Yes, sir.
So there is one more question. So n plus a to the power b is equal to theta of n to the power b. So again, we have to prove that it is order of n and it is omega of n. Then it will be automatically theta. Okay, so this we have to find. Now, n plus a is equal to n plus absolute value of a, and we can write it 2n if mod a is less than equal to n. Okay. Similarly, n minus a is equal to n minus absolute value of a, and we can write it half n if mod a is less than equal to half n. Yes. You see this question? So we have to prove that n plus a to the power b is equal to theta of n to the power b. So we have to find two constants, C1, C2. which can satisfy this condition. This condition, 0 less than equal to C1 into Gn less than equal to Fn and less than equal to C2 into Gn. So this is the definition of theta. This we have to prove. So n plus a, obviously it will be less than equal to 2n if a value is n. Okay, so a value can be maximum n, so it will be less than 2n. And it will be greater than equal to half of n. It will be greater than equal to half of n. If a value is half of n. So this is obvious. So if we use this inequality, so half of n is less than equal to n plus a, and n plus a is less than equal to 2. And we apply power of b, because since all non-negative, so no difference will be there. If you apply power of b, this inequality will still hold. So for 1 by 2 and 2, we can prove that n to the power a plus b is equal to theta of n to the power b. Okay? So note it down. Done?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So today is your OR assignment.
Yes, sir.
So you know the process. Assignment will be uploaded on Google Drive. You have to submit it within 1 hour. So 45 minutes to do the assignment, and next 15 minutes for submit. And yeah, and late submissions will not be considered. So please care about this. Late submissions will not be considered. Okay. So to submit it on time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's do analysis of some recursive algorithm. Today I will just give you overview analysis of some recursive algorithms. So basically analysis of recursive algorithm is not so straightforward. In discrete mathematics, you would have studied recurrence relation. Studied or not?
Yes, sir.
So the same recurrence relation will be used to analyze the complexity of recursive algorithms. So from recursive algorithm, we will derive a recurrence relation, and then that recurrence relation will be solved and we'll get the time complexity. First thing. Now there are 3 methods. There are 3 methods. First is called substitution. Second is recursion tree method. And third is master method. So these are 3 methods which are used to analyze the recursive algorithms. So we'll study each of the methods one by one. So normally from iterative method and recursion tree method, almost all the algorithms can be analyzed. Master method, particular format. So if recurrence relation is in the given format, then only we can apply the master method. Okay. So let's see one by one. So we'll start with substitution method. Okay. So suppose a algorithm is given. It's like this. So if n is greater than 1, return a minus 1. So a n minus 1 is a recursion. It is a recursive call because function k a is calling itself. So what is the base criteria here? So basically base criteria is n is equal to 1. Because till the time n will be equal to 1, a n minus 1 will be called again and again. So we can write the recurrence for this relation, this relation as Tn is equal to some constant time for this comparison. Suppose constant you represent by c, or you can also represent by 1. Suppose I am taking c, suppose 1 as a constant plus n minus 1. So what is meaning of this? You have exam. Okay. अच्छा मास से पहचान में नहीं आता. So this 1 and t and s1. So what does it mean? It means that when input size is 1, n, when input size is n here, so we represent it as tn, and here input size is n minus 1, we are representing it as tn minus 1. So this is the recurrence that we solve. सुनिए कोड ठीक है, क्योंकि जब केबल को हिला डुला के कर रहे हैं तो बीच में पकड़ ले रहा है, तो मुझे लग रहा है ज्यादा कोड ठीक है, उसके प्रॉब्लम रही होगी, एक बार चेक कर लीजिए. Okay, so since we are doing substitute method, so we'll substitute it. Now we'll substitute of, let me write it like this. So just expand it. So for expanding, what we'll do, in place of n, in the same equation I will write n minus 1. So if I have to find the value of tn minus 1, what I will write? Tn minus 2 plus
1.
Plus 1.
Okay, so this is the value. So this value I'm going to substitute here. So Tn is equal to Tn minus 2 plus 1, and plus 1 was already there. Okay, again I will substitute Tn minus 3 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So similarly, after k iteration, I will get Tn minus k plus
K plus
1 plus 1. Okay, so when will this recursion terminate? This recursion will terminate. Recursion terminates for input size 1. It means it will terminate when Tn minus k will become T1. So it means n minus k will become 1. It's k is equal to n minus 1. So if you put here k is equal to n minus 1, so what will get? T1 plus 1 plus what? N minus 1 times. To add 1 n minus 1 times, what we will get? N minus 1. So that is equal to order of. Got this? So it's simple.
Yes.
It's simple back
Yes, sir.
substitution. Okay. Always remember whenever you are analyzing the retrieve algorithm will terminate when you will get T1 you will get. So for input size, one algorithm is terminating. Maybe somewhere you have to find T2 or T3. But in general, when input size becomes 1, then it will terminate. So when n minus k will become 1, it will terminate. So we find the value of n with such, and we get in terms of n. So note down this. More will solve tomorrow. Have you done?
Done, sir.
Okay, all of you have done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one thing you all have to remember, see, CT will be also in subjective mode, not objective like it was last sem. So when CT will be subjective, obviously you will be not getting any question that is in your notebook. So please practice the numericals and apply your mind for understanding the concepts. In case of any subject, it is very difficult to get any question that you notebook because you are giving the test from home. So to avoid cheating throughout across the institute, all the questions will be new for you. Maybe substitution method question is there. Maybe you have solved 10 questions, but you get the 11th question that you have not solved. Is it clear? So you have to practice very much. And if there is any problem, any confusion, let me know in any topic. I will revise it on Saturday because Saturday you have no classes. So we'll have extra class on Saturday. There is no problem for any subject. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, all the best for your assignment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.